welcome back to the English class. Okay, so you might notice that there's a changes in my what's that called background. Don't worry, all right. I'm not teaching you Chinese, it's just that because Chinese New Year is coming soon, so I'm just thinking that I should change a bit on the background to have that kind of festive feels. Okay, so nothing related to any religious or like any festival stuff lah. All right, it's just things that I felt like maybe make myself happier because it indicate that we will need to go into the holiday very very soon, right? So that's that. Okay, nothing more. Other than that, I am currently in our page 8. It's page 8? Yeah, page 8. Okay, in our page 8, because today we will need to dive right into our week 2 syllabus for our February note. Okay, we will only focus on our flashback for today, writing on flashback for today. We need to prep yourself on that. And then only when we go into our week 3 syllabus, we will move into in a more detailed manner on how can you how do I say this? How can you acquire some techniques that is able to help you to handle or at least manage these flashback techniques in a more complete way? Okay, how can you further refine these techniques, able to get yourself in a very comfortable way of using this technique of flashback writing your what's it called story essay. All right, so without any further ado, now we are in our page 8. Okay, page 8. Quickly, let me recap on the foreshadow first. You should have already learned foreshadow in your, I think, around Form 3 or Form 4. Okay, Form 4 time. So foreshadow is when you give a bit of the hint, all right, with some descriptive sentences, a bit of a hint to indicate that maybe something is going to happen later, to act as a hook, okay, to hook the audience interest to continue to read on your things, and then you review it with more in explanation. Okay, so looking at this as an example, this recap. Although dark cumulus clouds roll across the sky, fisherman Ma insisted on setting out to catch fish. In all his 40 years, he had never missed a day of work, and he was not going to stop now. Then thunder rumbled ominously, and there was followed by its companion, a streak of lightning that flashed across the sky. So despite the sign, the stubborn old man rowed out to the sea. So from all these descriptions, especially the blue highlighted one, you already know that it's not in a good weather. Okay, especially this is a fisherman, right? But still, this stubborn old man insists to continue to row out to the sea to try to catch some fishes, right? To catch some fish. Hence, we all know that definitely something is going to happen later. So this kind of writing technique is called foreshadow. Okay, foreshadow. But when we move on to writing flashback, how is it so different from foreshadow? Okay, for those who just came in, we are in our page 8. This one, look at the sample passage that has been written first. Packing my room slowly into the boxes, I stared forlornly at the furniture in my room. I was never going to come back into this house, the house that I had grown up in. Painful though it might be for me, it would be more painful to remain. Okay, so with this, you already know that you're trying to pack things. Okay, you try to lead in, okay, or build some emotions with words like stared forlornly. Okay, stared forlornly means feeling sad and lonely. Let me give you the meanings while I'm trying to bring you through. This one is feeling sad and lonely. And why? Usually it's because you are being left alone. Being left alone. Forlornly. All right, forlornly. I was never going to come back to this house. You already tried to build the kind of emotions that, you know what, I am definitely not coming back. Okay, a lot of painful memories. Then after this, okay, it will be more painful to remain. After this, the next paragraph, it should be you writing the what is the exact painful memory that is bothering you. You flash back to the few years ago that the painful memories happened. Okay, so this is how you write your flashback. Another one, let's see this. Okay, whenever I see the scars on my arms and legs, the faded line crisscrossing one another, meaning that there's a lot of like injury. Okay, perhaps this person has did something self-harmed before. Right, the purplish hue circling them, a jolt of pain will shoot up my spine. The memories that I had tried so hard to suppress would rush back to my mind. The shouts, the blood, the anger are the gruesome images that will replay in my mind again and again. I can never be free of them. Okay, so again, if you want to indicate or you want to lead into the flashback incident, you will need to indicate that this is a memory or you have some memory. What kind of memory? Your emotions, your feelings towards it. Okay, the first one, painful memories, right? Painful memories. The next one, this one is like gruesome memories because there are a lot of gruesome images. I think likely there is abuse happened. Okay, so yeah, this is how you write flashback. You have to have a lead in or a trigger point before you move into explain in detail on what is the flashback, what is the exact incident. Okay, meanwhile for this one, I just want to let you know that gruesome means scary. Gruesome means scary. Right? So if you've done this portion, let's continue to look into the definition of flashback. Highlight it up. All right, please highlight. Flashback is a literary device, interrupts chronological sequence. Okay. And then it is a scene from where to let the readers experience first-hand point of view character. Okay. In the blanco, please write character's past. From a character's past. So usually when we write normal essay, normal story, it's gonna have the sequence of before, during, and after. But for flashback, you will try to extract a part of the during the climax up to your introduction first, and then you indicate the trigger point, okay? What triggered you to recall back the memory or think about the incident again, and then you write back before, during, after. Yeah. Hence why here it mentioned that it interrupts the chronological sequence. Okay, so far so good, Let me continue to push down a bit. Okay, so flashback do's. What you need to do when you want to use this technique in writing your story. You will need to use, this is, write it down, past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Okay, past perfect tense is a sentence that you use had plus participle. What's participle? Book 3, the final form of your past tense. Okay, example. When we arrived at the cinema, the show had begun. Had begun is the past perfect. Okay, had, and then this one, the present tense is begin, right? So begin, began, begun. Okay, so this one, next one, before he arrived, I had cleaned the house. This one also had cleaned. Okay, and why do we need to use past perfect? It's because during the flashback time, you will need to ensure your audience is able to have a very clear mindset of the flow of your story. So to indicate the sequence of the incident happenings, step 1, step 2, step 3, is very important. Hence, like sentence like this is able to show you what exactly happened first, then what comes later. So this one, when we arrive at the cinema, the shows had begun. It indicates that the show already started, okay? Then only you arrive at the cinema. Then only you are there trying to talk about this incident. Okay, so if there's a timeline, past perfect is like this. First one is the show. Then you arrive. And here, it's you talking about this incident. This is usually like now you are talking, okay, talking about this, the past. And past perfect is something that happened first in the past. Okay? a bit confused, it's okay. Later when we work on the practices, you will get better understanding. All right. But anyhow, this is the first steps. Moving on, you need to sprinkle in emotions. So you will need to write in length for all the narrative or descriptive writings with all the emotions, the adjective, okay, to describe on what is your feeling for that moment, for that flashback to happen. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? If you have no questions, raise hand. If you have no questions and you are ready to move on to page 9, raise hand. Okay, cool. How about Yuan Ye,说的下? If you're not able to find the word, also can type yes. Okay, thank you, Yuan Yi. All right, pause. So we move on to the next portion. So page 9. When or how do you use flashback? Okay, when or how do you use flashback? Later, I will show you one video. Okay, I'll show you one video. I'll let you see what is flashback. So here, but before that, please help me to change the words first here. Flashback. Okay. Let me see if there's anything. All right. And I will also try to fill in this portion first before we move into that video. So opening is your trigger point. Then we will have flirt. Okay. Then we need to freeze the emotion. Resolution part, you will need to defrost the emotion. And ending, you will always have a self-soothe moment. Okay, so opening, build up, go to the climax, and then we continue to come down back to the ending. All right. Let me open up the video for you first. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? Let me stop sharing. Okay, nice. Stop sharing for now. Let me share with you my discussion. Okay, I think you are now in my YouTube place, right? Please take a look, okay? Here later we will see the character, how is it, I mean, for this movie, how they are trying to put in the flashback, okay, scene in this portion. So if you notice, the food tester, he tried to give you a now first, okay, and then eat. Then what is the trigger point? Is the taste of the food, okay, and the emotions are being sprinkled in, right? See the flashback. The taste of it has bring it back to the mother's taste, okay, the childhood time, right? There it comes back. Okay, and you have to emphasize on all the emotions. See, pen dropped. Oh my god, I can't believe I can still taste my mother's taste, right? The home cooked food taste. Okay. Yeah. So technically this is flashback, right? But definitely when you're trying to write it, right, you'll need to write in a more lengthier manner. This is a movie, so just within, I don't know, like 10 seconds, you're already able to establish that. However, if it's for your writing, you need to use more description words to achieve this. Okay, so let's move on to the next page. Right, let's move on to the next page. Sorry, not next page, next portion, just the checkpoint first. All right, this one I'll highlight together with you. Then when we go to the next page, I'll need you to try yourself. Okay. You know what? Or maybe I will try the first question, then the second and the third one you try. Then later I'll assign one for each of you, and then you'll need to read what's the part that is signaling the beginning of the flashback. Okay, so for the first one, checkpoint one, the first one. All of a sudden, Rory remembered an incident from long ago. He had been walking in the woods with his older brother who tried to scare him half to death with a story about a hooded monster. Rory had been so frightened then that he had cried uncontrollably. Okay, so in this sentence, we already see this, okay? This portion is the flashback, the beginning of a flashback. All of a sudden, Rory remembered an incident from long ago. Then when you see all these past tense words, mean that you already go into your flashback. Okay? And this one, had been, had cried, all these are the past perfect. So in order to use flashback, you will need to see how can you include your past perfect tense in your sentence. All right, so that's that. Question number 2 and question number 3, you all try yourself. Later, I will need maybe Putri to bring through question number 2. Shodesha. Did I spell your name correctly? Let me see. Shodesha. To cover question number 3. Okay, so you all take some time to read the sentence and then highlight it up. Once you've done, raise your hand. For those who are watching the recording, you can pause it here, try it out yourself. Later, when you resume back the video, I will discuss with you so that you can cross-check the answer accordingly. Cool? Okay, let's go. You can unmute yourself and bring along when you are ready. All right.
Today, as he strolled along peacefully, Rory chuckled at the long ago horror story. He had no way of guessing what was waiting now, just a few yards ahead. Right now, he was happy and relaxed.
Okay.
The beginning of flashback is Rory chuckled at that long ago horror story.
Very good. Okay, so the beginning of the flashback is this portion, especially this portion. Good. Okay. What about our past perfect tense?
Had no way?
Only one here. Very good. Thank you, Putri. So had no way. All right, had no way. Moving on to the next one. Shodesha.
Gloria lined up with other runners. They were all flushed with determination and excitement, all except Gloria. Suddenly, it was last year again, and she was telling the coach that she had to drop out of the team because of her illness. Now she was well again. Still, she said to herself, "What am I doing here? I'll never win. I haven't practiced enough." But miracles do happen. The question is, what kind of miracle would be best for Gloria? The flashback starts from suddenly it was last year again, and she was telling the coach that she had to drop out of the team because of her illness.
Very good. Okay, so this is the second sentence of the passage, and this is the flashback. Okay, cool. What about the past perfect tense?
She had to drop out of the team.
Yep, had to drop out. Okay, can. Cool. So I think everyone is quite. I mean, this is quite easy. You just have to identify the words like things that happen from the past. Things like this one. Okay, an incident from long ago. So means that you go back to the past. Long ago horror story. Again, go back to the past. Suddenly, it was last year again. Definitely for normal circumstances, we are not able to be in last year again. Okay, the time passed, we cannot go back. Hence, this is flashback. Think back. Okay, good one. So moving on to the next picture. We go to our page 10. In page 10, there's total of 2 questions. I already demonstrated one. Later, I will bring you through and try to identify the flow and also what are things that we can learn from it. I will work out the question 1 with you. And for the question 2 in the page 11, then that one will be on you. Okay, yeah? So let's move on to our practice 1 in our page 10. You have to understand the plot of the story below first. Okay, like what I've mentioned to you just now when we draw the graphic, okay? From the trigger point, then you have the arise action, and then we will need to freeze at the climax portion, defroze, and resolve the incident. Okay, then you have to write an introduction using foreshadowing. This one, please help me to correct it to flashback. Flashback. Okay, the first one has already been done for you. This is the first one. I will demonstrate it to you. So first thing first, this is the flow of the story. Okay, if you notice, this is similar to the 5 part of our story plot, which is this is the opening, your trigger point. Actually, no, this is not the trigger point because this is the whole plot of your flashback incident. So not even your whole story. So this is yes the opening. Okay. Then this is your content. This is your closing. Okay. It is only your flashback. You will need to see how can you put the whole flashbacks before, during, after into the content portion and give and try to write an introduction that is with the current time before you loop in back to your flashback whole thing. So this is what we are trying to do now. Okay, so this is your flashback page. The flow like this. Let me go through the story with you. So first one, Kim and I were home alone one night. This is the before portion. We decided to go explore an abandoned house in the neighborhood. Haha, oh my god. Okay, why are you doing this? Right? So this is your before still, then the during. We entered into a room filled with jars of specimens, which we believe were the body parts. We tried to escape, but there was a strong force stopping us. Right, GG.com. And then this is the after. The next morning, we found ourselves on the couch of my living room. So this is the whole story that happened in the past, and we need to see how can we try to write the introduction. The technique is you need to find a key word or key object in the flashback experience. Okay, in the flashback experience. So you see, this one is the sample, the example of how can we write the introduction. Here's my most favorite part of the house. Okay, they are trying to use another technique called onomatopoeia, which is the words for sound. Right. So here, start off with the dialogue first to make the writer or to make the audience being interested in what are you trying to write. Okay, what are you trying to go through later? So here, my most favorite part of the house, what was that? Okay, so Kim exclaimed as she welcomed us into a newly renovated kitchen. As I inched closer to the kitchen rack in front of me, I was startled to find rows of familiar-looking jars of suspecting objects sitting nearly on the rack. Without warning, memories of the past came flooding in like a broken dam. Okay, so here, what is the keyword? Which is this. Familiar-looking jars of suspecting object. And Kim. Why? Because Kim is one of the the protagonist that has involved in the previous flashback. So we will need to write something that is related to her. Okay, and also here we have this jars. Okay, jars, body parts. So these two things, okay, one person, another one is the key object, triggers you to recall back the old memories from the past, and then you can continue to talk about what happened in the past. All right, so you have to find the keywords or the key object or the key person and try to write something for the current time with these two keywords, or not only two, actually if only one thing also can, depends how you want to write it. And you have to write the beginning of the flashback. How do you do? Without warning, memory of the past came flooding in like a broken dam, or those that we have already highlighted in the checkpoint. Okay, like all of a sudden remembered an incident from long ago, right? Suddenly it was last year again. So these are the words or the phrases that can help you to lead into your flashback. Okay, so let me push it up a bit. Now, our questions for the next one. Okay, let me go through this portion first. Grandma left me alone in the house while she tended her farm. Okay, next one. I decided to enter the forbidden room near the kitchen that Grandma warned me to never enter, the pantang room, but yet because of curiosity, the curiosity killed the cat now. Okay, she decided to go in. So a pair of gleaming eyes stared back at me and insisted that I stay and play with it. Oh my god, Chucky. So I wanted to leave the room, but something grabbed my leg hard. Luckily, Grandma came to the rescue just in time, and I had a terrible scolding from her. So this is the whole flow of the past experience, which is your flashback portion. We will need to find a way to write an introduction with the key things in here so that we can try to associate with it and tie it back when we need to move down to the paragraph. All right, I will show it to you. How can we write it out? Again, my note, first thing first, you have to find key object from the past experience. Okay, secondly, you will need to write the phrase to indicate the beginning of flashback. Okay, so my demonstration to you, I decided to use this. Okay, usually I think the key object will comes from the climax, which is the during of the flashback scenes. So this is the during part, right? And I think this is something that is quite remarkable, a pair of gleaming eyes that I can try to use it for the current time that can help you to trigger your flashback. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to use. The eyes. And how can I write my introduction? Okay, are you ready? So we try to copy what has been done in the demonstration one first. So maybe we start off with the sound, a dialogue first. It's easier for you to attract people, like so. Perhaps like this. Hey, can you arrange the bag of thrifted toys over there? Elvis chirped. While pointing at the bag. The black plastic bag. Okay. It was at the far end of the room, right? Alice and I had been going through bags and bags of donated goods. For the charity since 8 in the morning. Reluctantly, I dragged myself to the back to my horror. A pair of icy blue eyes greeted me and sent me back to 10 years ago. Okay, this is how you should write it. Find the key object. Now we are talking about the eyes. Write the phrase to indicate the beginning of the flashback. Okay, I already written the phrase in the orange color. Okay, it's always something that is so unrelated so that you can help to build the contrast. Okay, suddenly you are in the recent time, you're actually someone that is doing a charity activity. Okay, the charity activity, and you're trying to arrange all the things that has been donated, right? And you're trying to you need to apply your past perfect tense here. Where is it? It's here. Alice and I had been going through bags and bags donated for the charity since 8 in the morning, right? And then now you have to also sprinkle in emotions like reluctantly. Okay. And when you talk about since 8 in the morning, you are also showing that it's indicating that it's a bit tiring already. Okay. To my horror, suddenly you saw the pair of icy blue eyes again. Then you flashbacked. So this is how you should write it. Okay. Once you've done this portion, raise your hand so that I can move on to the next page. Okay, let me know when you're done. Cool. So if you're done, you go to the page 12 first. Sorry, page 11 first. Look through again. Look at the plot of the flashback. Find the key object from the past experience. Write the phrase to indicate the beginning of the flashback in. Try to apply your past perfect tense. Okay, you try out yourself. Then later I'll give you my model answers. Meanwhile, I will also want to know how are you going to write it so that I can also see whether you have already understand the techniques of how can you write an introduction for your flashback essay or not. Okay, so once you've done, raise your hand first. Do not put down your hand. Raise your hand first. Move on to page 11. I'll give you, I think, I'll give you a 5-minute time to read through, and then you try to use that few minutes to see how can you structure your sentence. After you finish, put your how do I say this out? Put your answer into the chat box. You can direct message me. Okay, type it out. I can help you to read through and see whether is it okay or not. Then later I'll give you the model answers. How about that? Okay, yeah. So for those who are watching the recording, also please try it out yourself. I think it's very important for you to have this technique because a lot of students have this challenge. They felt like story is quite easy because it's more fluid for you to try it out. Okay. Otherwise, the other extended writing like your reviews, report, article got a lot of formats or the flow that you need to adhere to. However, my story always cannot get good grades. Why? Because of the techniques, because of the things that you need inside. You did not really put in a very precise manner. Okay, so try out yourself. Later when you resume back your recording, we will discuss again all together. Okay, cool. Let's go back. Okay, so all of you tried that. Okay, some haven't hit the spot yet, but it's okay. Okay, definitely there's rooms of improvement, but I think the emotions that has been created, okay, established is quite nice, right? But my version will be like this. So first thing first, I will start off with onomatopoeia first, using the words of sound, which is the dialogue first. Okay, so definitely a day that will remind you your family the most will be day that you always gather together. So 恭喜發財. If you have space, you can copy it down just to serve as a reference for you lah. So Gumi Choi, Uncle Kyung exclaimed as he entered the house. So your relative, not relative, distance relative actually remind you of something also. Okay. It was the second day of Chinese New Year. And my relatives, okay, from far and wide means semua orang. Okay, no matter where they are, they come back. Had all gathered. Okay, use your past perfect. Had all gathered in grandpa's house to celebrate the annual affair. Affair means situation, okay, annual or event, okay, annual affair. After an exchange of pleasant trees. Okay, these are all those very formal greeting, like, oh my god, so good, so nice, so smart, looks tall, things like that. Okay, with everyone around. Made himself comfortable on the rocking chair. As I glanced over, I realized how he actually resembled grandpa. So Uncle Kyung plus the rocking chair. Okay. It was that instance that sent me back to 5 years ago. Okay, I forgot to spare some space before I write my introduction. Feel free to do that. Okay, so this is how I zoom in to the particular thing, which is the rocking chair, and also the relative that is very, very serupa dengan the grandpa. Okay, and it's also a Chinese New Year, and then we flashback. Okay, that instant sent you back to 5 years ago. All right. So once you've done copying, please raise your hand. Okay. So I already drew 3 different things, and before that we also did some checkpoint already. You must have already established some. We do something that is less, what is that called? Less stressful. Okay. Oh my God, teacher. Feeling very, very stressful when you have to like drill yourself. It's okay, don't worry. Eventually we will still need to work on this, but go to your page 12, then we will take a step back and look at how people use flashback in their passage. All right. And then try to study on some extra vocabulary that perhaps can be used in your next flashback or next essay. Then we just have to do the, what's that called, information transfer, like portion of the page 12. All right. So once you've done, raise your hand. I'll go through the whole passage in the page 12, your practice tool, with you. Okay, and I'll highlight the vocabulary and bring you through the meaning of it. Then we will call it hand. You need like raise hand. Okay. What about the others? Have you done? Okay. 5 minutes, so we need to move very fast. If I'm only able to bring you through the passage, you need to work on it yourself, the practice. Okay. But at least I can bring you through. If can. I hope can in 5 minutes. All right. How about Shen Sheng? All good? Still a bit more, teacher. Almost can wait for you. Then the others, you can glance through the passage first. Okay, glance through the passage first. In page 12. Special, all good? Okay, cool. Let's move. So hopefully I can bring you through within 5 minutes, okay, for this portion. And I don't think we are able to discuss on the question now. So without any further ado, let's go. So first paragraph. As I tidy up the messy looking room, a washed out photo fell out from the corner of my favorite novel. Looking at the familiar whalebone white sand, tears started welling up in my eyes. Immediately I was catapulted to the day when I went on a short getaway with my family. So this one is the beginning of the flashback. Okay, catapulted means swiftly brought back to. Swiftly move to means it brought you back. Okay, to the day when I went on a short getaway with my family, then you can start flowing in again on your before, during, after. So the breezy sea breeze greeted me warmly. Okay. As I stepped foot in Wellington Beach. Breezy means salty, salty. After a month long of grueling exam, grueling scary, it was finally time to let my hair down. Okay, this is not necessary. I mean, this is an idiom, not just you letting your hair down, but it's talking about fully get comfortable and relax. Okay, fully indulge or enjoying your me time. Okay, get comfortable and relax. Right, moving on. Feeling lazy, all I wanted was to bump around the pillow soft sand and sunbathe. The rolling wave and the lolling yacht in the distance lulled me to sleep. Slowly, my face felt like great fire, and the heat was becoming more and more unbearable with the passage of time. So, beach, sunbathed, the sun is too hot, being woke up, okay, become more awoke, and then have to walk around. Right? Not wanting to be consumed by the blazing golden orb, this is referring to the sun, I stood up and decided to take a stroll along the beach, giving my parents some alone time. Out of the corner of my eyes, I saw something bronze-like gleaming in the distance. As I inched closer, means move closer. Alright, I was in disbelief to find a magic lamp half buried in the sand. Feeling playful, I picked it up and rubbed the lamp just like how Aladdin did in the cartoon. I did it twice, but there was nothing. However, on my third attempt, so third time is a what, right? A genie appeared. It was not like in the cartoon. The genie in front of me had a pair of serpentine eyes. Serpentine looks evil. Okay, evil eyes. Looks like snakes. Okay, that were flaming with hatred. Sling your hook. Okay, this one is not saying that please give me your wish. Okay, tell me your wish. This asks you to move away. So get away. Okay, Gojo, get away. His raspy voice taunted me, echoing in the deserted beach with brutality. So rude. So before I could react, poof, it's gone, leaving no marks or evidence whatsoever. Feeling spooked, I scrambled back to my parents and related my strange encounter with them. Of course, they didn't believe me. I dragged them back to the spot where the lamp was, but it was nowhere to be found. They didn't believe, stop pulling our legs, G. So pulling legs means like try to make them feel a bit not happy, yeah. Okay. So mom chirped as we walked back, not wanting to be a wet blanket. Okay, means the one that spoiled sport. All right, wet blanket. Spoil sport. Someone that spoiled the fun. Okay, I forced myself to not think about what happened and enjoy the rest of my escapism. So almost 3 years have passed, but I can still vividly remember the evil genie that I came face to face with. I do not know how it happened or why it happened, but I actually feel special to have such encounter. I guess life is always full of surprises and it has its own way to sweeten up your life. So this is a very magical moment, but didn't end very well. Okay, not like giving you 3 wishes, but instead ask you to go away. Okay, so just an encounter. All right. I will need to stop it here. Okay, please work on the remaining practices, your section A and B, and even the C, which is in your lower part of your page 12 and page 13 yourself. Okay, work on it yourself and send it to me during the CNY break. Okay, this is my phone number in case you don't know. My name is Stephanie. Yeah? All right. So send it to me whenever you've done. Just tell me that you are my online class student. What's your name? Snap it out. Okay, this is my answer for the practices. I'll have the cross check and then we will move on. All right. By then, for the next class, when we come back, we will just start our week 3 clean and slick. Okay. So for this one, in case you don't know, I want the flow, okay? The plot of the story, the whole flashback, not your essay. Yeah? So this is very similar to what we have done in the previous pages where it indicate the before, during, after of the past experience. Okay? So far so good. Any questions? If there's no question, raise hand, please. So page 12 and 13. No question, raise hand. Got question, ask me. All right. Jenny raise hand. Okay. So far so good. So that's all for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day. Have a good holiday break. Okay. For those who are celebrating CNY, Happy Chinese New Year. All right. Thank you. Bye bye. Happy CNY. Okay. Hang on what? Happy. Yes. I hope I will be happy. All right. Bye. Shodesha, you have any questions?
No, Disha, I don't. I'm trying to press the leave button. It's not working. Okay, bye, Disha.
Okay, bye. Happy holiday.
Holiday too.
It's okay, I can end the meeting here.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, bye.